corridor which initially seems to be empty. Then there's something behind you. Another spiker that passed through an illusionary wall. Ooh, got hit by a little bit of the explosion there. But there's actually nothing in this little retreat. That's kind of lame. And there's the sound of yet more fire elementals. I think this level really could have benefited from some humanoid enemies, like the skeletons from the Palace of Shadows. Anything else of interest here? Yet another dead end. Nothing to do but turn around, track back. And believe it or not, there's yet another illusionary wall here. Aside from the one at the end, there's one to the right here. And this leads into an interesting place. Here we have a spear fence and a switch to bring it down or up again. Because at the end here we have a really big floating spiker. This is a unique one. This one cannot be killed. Yeah, that's great. Not only that, but if you're unlucky, it will land a blow that instantly kills one of your party members, and if you're really unlucky, it's Drake. So that means an instant game over. That makes this one of the toughest enemies in the entire game. You don't stand a chance of actually killing it. The only way you can defeat it is trapping it behind a spear fence, but unfortunately that is really difficult. You have to kind of time it perfectly. Gonna give it another go. And as you may have noticed, the spiker tried to hit me a few times, but it didn't actually kill any of my party members. It seems to sort of fail sometimes. And again, the spear fence didn't go up fast enough. I can't quite tell if it's my protective spells saving my guys, or if it's just bad programming. Another illusionary wall, which the spikers don't actually follow me through, and an interesting item on the floor.
It's covered with dust. The silver items are ancient relics of great importance. Khull-Khuum used them to capture the gods into the orbs during the devastation. Isn't that interesting?
Well, that definitely is very interesting. And a lot of people have been mentioning silver things to me, like the gatekeeper mentioned that the silver light could keep the shadows at bay. He might have been talking about this silver ankh. Ooh, let's get this thing out of my way. I said out of my way. And run for it. All we really came here for is that silver ankh. Well, we've exhausted everything we can do on this floor right now. But we did get the solution for the trap door from the dwarves, of course. So let's head back into the main corridor. That was the dead end. And see if we can solve this puzzle. Like I said, the scroll with the X's and O's provides a solution for the panel hidden in the wall there. It's pretty hard to figure out on your own, I think. I had to use the strategy guide for it. But let's have a look at the solution here.
Interesting.
Now, if you try to carefully follow each row of O's and X's, you might start noticing that they're sort of arranged 4 in a row. So, if you press the buttons that correspond with an O, and don't press the ones that correspond with an X, that's how you solve this thing. It's kind of a crappy sort of puzzle, I think. Basically, the symbols inscribed on the buttons are completely meaningless. So what was trapping this door? Just a lonely skull head dropping from the ceiling. And one arrow of enigmas makes quick work of it. Never mind, let's step on to the next floor. There we go. Second level of Khull-Khuum's tower. There's 4 floors in total, and of course the lair of the Dark Dwarfs making the 5th one. Oh. Lonely fire elemental. That sound of an energy bolt was not a skullhead, as you might expect, but there is a trap on this level which sporadically shoots out bolts of energy from a wall. It's kind of annoying and distracting, so I'll try not to spend too much time on this floor. So many of these stupid fire elementals. At least the sword is good for dealing cutting damage against them. Another interesting mechanic here, when you step into this tile here, it teleports you into a different area of the map. And there's a scroll on the ground to indicate that you switch to a different place. Yeah. More fairy humor, I guess. Either that, or it's a joke left in by the Stonekeep team. I can imagine that they left the scroll there just for playtesting purposes, and then just left it in when it turned out to be a good indicator that the player has teleported. And there's the energy bolt trap in the far wall. Let's wait for it to shoot out another bolt and rush into this alcove here, where we find another silver symbol, a silver crescent this time. Something is unfolding here. Alright, let's continue on. Yet another fire elemental coming out of the wall. Big surprise there.
It's magically barred. I thought you would be able to tell that by now.
I can feel the energies holding it shut.
Well, there's no elegant magical solution to open this door. Quite simply, you have to cast a Power 3 Spoil Spell rune on it to break the spell. There we go. So let's see why this door was magically locked. Some bones on the ground once again. Not a good sign. Doesn't look like anyone was left alive in here. A scroll?
He tried to force my wife to serve him by gathering the orbs, but she refused. Now Rhea is dead. My time is short, and I only regret I was not able to capture him myself.
So here's a little bit of text connecting the game to the companion novel Fair Awakening again. If you hadn't read that, or hadn't read my summary of it, Rhea is the name of the mother of the main character of the novel, Wraith. So this scroll was written by Wraith's father. And the book describes that Wraith's parents left him behind and then disappeared. So clearly at some point they were taken prisoner by Khull-Khuum and left to die here. So these are Drake's direct ancestors. Story-wise, it's an interesting note that Khull-Khuum apparently tried to make Rhea find the orbs for him. There's this kind of underlying notion that Khull-Khuum himself can't actually take possession of the orbs, but he needs worshippers of Farah to actually bring them to him. I'll be glad to be rid of that sound, definitely. And there are, of course, more fire elementals lying in wait. There comes one now. Ooh, and my protective shield spell apparently wore off. The nasty thing about these fire elementals is that their damage is not one instant value. They burn off a whole bunch of your health, which can catch you by surprise and quickly whittle you down to 0. So let's quickly renew those spells. There we go. You could definitely use some healing, but we'll get a chance for that later. Phew. Alright. Let's do some healing now. Just making sure to keep Drake alive for the ride. Nothing else much of interest in here. Let's proceed. Hey! Another thing flashing in the wall, an Ankh, and this time I actually have the symbol in my inventory. If you have the symbol that you see on the wall, you can step through it and end up in a different place. Still on the second floor, but in a previously unreachable area. Getting pretty tired of these walking flames. I really suspect that the Stonekeep team at this point was just using leftover material for enemies. So what do you got for me, huh?
Well, I have this graphic of fire I'm not doing anything with. And I made this sweet-ass model of a cylinder with spikes on it. Look!
Brilliant! That's kind of how I suspect they talk. Anyway, stepping through this door into this little room is again a teleport into a different area. And once again a teleporting wall, this time with a crescent. Again a symbol I already have in my possession. But I'm not going to step through here just yet. So I'll make a mark of it and remember to come back here later. Because there's a little bit more to explore in this area of the map. In this room, we find a silver cross. And this is a symbol that we found flaring up on a wall earlier. Remember how I dropped a teleportation rune there? Well, let's go check it out. Here we go. And this leaves us, well, back on the second level again. In an isolated room. With another one of those bright green orbs embedded into the wall. And this is once again an orb that lets you recharge your rune staffs. I think it has an infinite amount of charges, so this is a good opportunity to heal my entire party and renew my protective spells. Fresh armor, fresh shield. Alright, we should be good for a while. Now let's use the teleportation circle and rune to return from where we teleported originally. There we go. Let's see if there's anything else of interest in here. A door that leads into one square chamber with absolutely nothing in it. Super. Just Stonekeep keeping me on my toes, I guess. Well, like I said earlier, I have the silver crescent. So let's return to that wall that had the silver crescent flaring up on it. And go see what's on the other side.